Reggie here, your friendly neighborhood bodybuilder and comic book collector, and I want to welcome you to another one of my videos. This is quite possibly the earliest live stream that I have ever done. It is like 7:30 here on the West Coast, but I wanted to do this video now because I actually have a moment in my day to actually do this live stream before things start to get a little crazy with my honeydew list and with it being the 4th of July here in the US. So I wanted to jump on here, do a couple of things, including give you guys a pretty big announcement. A relatively big announcement, so bear with me. A couple of soldiers here joining me in the room at the crack of dawn. Lewis is here. Emerald Knight is also here in the room with me. And like I said, I want to give you guys a couple of updates. So we're going to kind of jump into this thing as other people kind of flow into the room here. Matt Shaw is here. How you doing, brother? So a couple of things. You guys have jumped on me over the last couple of days when I made a comment about comic book pressing. I have actually created the video on comic pressing. Actually, there's two of them because the videos are really long, kind of walking through the process. So what I've done is I've actually chunked this thing up into right now 2 videos, 3 parts, and I still need to do more to actually get to other aspects of the process. So I'm debating when I want to release the videos, but just know that I stayed up until 1:30 at night one night actually recording and doing some editing on this video, but I have part of it done. I need to figure out when I want to release it. I am having, as I mentioned yesterday, having all kinds of technical issues with my computer in terms of being able to push things to YouTube. Having some issues with Photoshop and creating images. It is a cluster. I'm actually probably at some point going to have to buy a new computer because it's that bad. But I wanted to let you guys know that I heard you, that I have created at least some semblance, I think, of a pretty solid pressing video. On the second video, I actually need to do some additional editing. You can actually see my moisture bath back there. I'm going to take a couple of photos this morning to actually drop into the second video that I've created for you guys. So I just wanted to give you guys a heads up on that. Some additional people have flowed here in the room. I think I said hello to Emerald Knight. It's good to see you, brother. Kingpin Comics is in the house. How you doing? He said, dude, you had to do this before coffee? I am literally on my second cup of coffee right now, my friend. So I feel your pain. Good morning to you, sir. Randy is in the house. How you doing, brother? Whitewell Comics is in the house. Happy 4th of July to you, James, as well. Michael P is in the house. It is good to see you, brother. Agent Oink Oink. I absolutely love that. Every time I see it, it makes me laugh. It's good to see you, man. Matt is in the house. Steve Rogers. Pause. Steve Rogers is in the house. Captain America is here, people. Steve, it's good to see you, man. I miss saying your name, and so I am glad that you are here on this day of all days, right? The 4th of July. The American flag is here. Chuck is in the house. It's good to see you, man. How you doing? He says he is it bad in North Carolina? I was there. I think I told you that I was like there in North Carolina last week for a little bit. But yeah, it was, I got off the plane and it was sticky. It was sticky. I went to college in DC, so I know humidity, and yeah, I have not been outside, so I don't know what the weather is. Brian Perrin, how you doing, brother? SVP 2010 says, this is the first time in the chat. Good morning and welcome to the Reggie Collects live stream. It is good to have you here. So again, I just wanted to do a really quick video because I have a moment in time here. My wife has me painting and doing some other honeydew items, and so I think my day is going to get a little crazy. So I wanted to do this video to give you guys a quick update on a few things. The first thing that I wanted to tell you about is that I have created the pressing video. I need to figure out when I'm going to release it. I don't know if it's going to be this week or next week, but the pressing video, at least the 2 pressing videos, have basically been shot. I'm editing the second one as we speak. So it's at least going to be a 2-parter. It may be more like a 4-parter. And when you watch the first part of the video, I'll kind of explain my rationale behind that. So definitely stay tuned for that. Because I'm going to break it all down. Vika's in the house. How you doing, brother? I want to give a huge shout out really quickly to a really good guy who reached out to me by the name of Brian. And Brian is a father up in, I think, Sacramento. He reached out to me a couple of weeks ago when I made mention that I was headed to Stockton, California to do some stalking of comics. And he dropped me a message and he said, yo, check out Grapevine. Check out Grapevine Comics and Cards. And there are basically 3 comic shops in Stockton that I wanted to hit. And one of them at the top of the list was Grapevine Comics and Cards. I went there. I had a blast. And then Brian and I, who lives in Sacramento, have had a couple of conversations. So I want to give him a shout out for co-signing the decision to go to Grapevine. And I also want to take a moment to say happy 4th of July and good morning to his son, Evan. So Evan, if you are listening to this, buddy, I want to say thank you for continuing to support the channel, both you and your dad. I absolutely appreciate you guys. And maybe just one day when I'm in Sacramento, we'll have an opportunity to meet one another. So there you go. I want to definitely take a moment to always give people a shout out if I can, because there's a lot of really awesome people out there in the comic book community. And it's really cool when you can take a moment to say hello. Gene is in the house. Gene says, hey, Reg, new subscriber, love your work. Gene, thank you very much, brother. I definitely appreciate it. People are always like, well, people always say thank you. You can never have too many people saying thank you. I'm going to just be honest with you. But Gene, welcome to the live stream. Welcome to the channel, brother. I'm glad that I was able to earn your subscription. So the very big and probably the most important thing that I wanted to do in this video is to say, go Joe. It is Independence Day, and I could think of no better way to celebrate Independence Day than to give away a comic from the channel featuring everybody's hero, G.I. Joe, right? A real American hero. So this is actually the Go Collect giveaway for the week. I told you guys on Sunday show that I wasn't going to tell you what the book was. Here's the book. It is a 9.8 white pages. It is the first issue of G.I. Joe, the real American hero. This is the Go Collect book that is going to be given away this week. And the phrase that you will need, go Joe. Super simple. Go Joe. And so if you are interested in winning this book, all you have to do is head over to the community tab, click the link where I'm talking about this book, and enter in your information and enter in the phrase go Joe, and then tune in on Sunday to find out who the winner will actually be of this really cool book. So that is it. I want to actually, Whitewell says his favorite book. So I want to pop over really quickly. I want to share my screen. I want to pop over really quickly to the Go Collect website to take a look at the FMV for this book, because that is part of the deal. Whenever we give away one of these books, we always like to share the FMV for the book so you guys know exactly what it is that you're picking up. So hopefully you guys can actually see that. This is the Go Collect website, gocollect.com. So I'm going to type in I think I need the periods actually. G.I. Joe 1. I think I need that in there. So there it is. G.I. Joe. Nope, it is not that one. So here we go. G.I. Joe, a real American hero, #1. You can see that the 9.8 is actually going for $300. Wow. And there's been roughly 1,000 sales. So I'm going to click on the title here, and then we will scroll down to find a 9.6. It is basically going for $140. And I want to say I'm probably paid more than that actually. But here we can expand it and you can actually see some of the sales for this book. $140, 144. More recently around June, it was $174. That's probably around the time I bought it. But here you go. These are essentially the FMV prices for G.I. Joe #1, 9.6 with white pages. So again, if you are interested in actually winning this book, all you have to do is head over to the community tab, click on the post where I talk about this book, enter in your information and the phrase go Joe to be in the running. And then the details of this thing is that we simply ask that you be a subscriber of the channel, because this is, a giveaway for subscribers. We ask that you be a resident of the United States, a resident of Canada, or have a mailing address in the US to kind of help us to save on some of the shipping costs. But that's it. That's all that you have to do. It is Independence Day here in the US, and we are giving away a real American hero to one person. So again, huge shout out to Go Collect for putting us in a position to be able to give away this stuff. every single week. Wayne McDonald, how you doing, brother? It's good to see you. Hydra Comics says, love when you do live streams at this time. Perfect for me to join all the way from the UK. So this dude right here, Undead Mousy, absolutely love this guy. He has an obsession. He has an obsession with Spider-Man, as do I. So we always talk on Instagram about Spider-Man. He has a fantastic collection over there in the UK. He has hipped me to a couple of things that I did not know about. Most recently, there was a pretty cool variant that he has been able to find that I still can't find. So I absolutely enjoy this guy. So let me scroll through the comments. See, Tina's in the house. How you doing, Tina? Brian Parent says, knowing is half the battle. Well done, sir. Steve Rogers is asking if I'll be doing a room update, a room tour. I don't know that I have anything like new in here, to be honest. I think the last room tour that I did was like part 6. And people, even to this day, people still ask about the mounts that are on my wall. So I'm constantly sending out that video. I think it was actually the 5th or 6th one where I actually talk in detail about the mounts that are on the wall. I don't know that I've made any changes, really substantive changes since part 6. I've swapped out the wall a couple of times. But yeah, there are a couple of things on the horizon that are preventing me from making additional updates to the room here. So I'll reveal some of that stuff in due time. But yeah, if you guys are curious about anything here in the room, if you look at that comic tour, our comic room tour series that I set up, there's a lot of details in there on the window that's to my right, how I protect the comics from that, the comic mounts, the boom that I use for my mic, the lights, etc., etc. There's a ton of information in those 6 videos. Monte Vista is in the house. How you doing, brother? It's good to see you. Happy 4th of July to you if you are indeed in the US. Tio is in the house. How you doing, brother? It's good to see you. Scrolling through, Ariel, why you always bringing up old stuff? My man Ariel, who I absolutely love, this dude is like, hey, any more random run videos in the future? So I was talking about this the other day, and I talk about it a fair bit with like YouTubers that are out there that are trying to get their channels up and running. When I started, I remember creating videos that would only get like 50 views. I would create videos that would only get like 100 views, and I tried a lot of different stuff, a lot of experimentation to try to find things that work. And I have a few things that work, and I have some things that didn't work. And to that point of things that didn't work, Ariel, is I was doing this random run series, and basically what I realized was that, you know, if you look here in the room to some degree or another, we spend a lot of time talking about like major keys, right? Really expensive books, grails, all that kind of stuff. But the vast majority of most people's collections aren't keys, aren't grails, aren't really the books that you would necessarily hang on the wall. And so I wanted to do a series that acknowledged all of the other books, right? The books that had sentimental value, had great art, great stories, but didn't necessarily get slabbed or go on the wall. And that's basically what the Random Run series was about. And it was not watched. It was not watched at all. I mean, I think the most views that one of those videos ever got was like 250 or something like that. But it was a fun series. It was a fun series because it allowed me to kind of highlight books and titles and story arcs that people don't really focus on, or people didn't have awareness of, or whatever it was. But it was not a widely watched series. So to that point, Ariel, I don't think we'll do Random Run. Florence is in the house. How you doing, Florence? It's good to see you. Michael P talking about the gibbon on the wall. Amazing Spider-Man 110, the gibbon back there. Absolutely love that comic. And what's really cool is that not every day, but maybe once, sometimes twice a week, I get a message from someone that is like, I'm in the club. I got a gibbon. So I get a big kick out of that. So, all right. Scrolling through some of the comments here. Scrolling through. Ariel said I had to take it back to the old school. Maybe I'll do a special random run for Patreon members, because you guys are over on the Patreon are like hardcore people. So maybe doing over there. But yeah, didn't get a whole lot of love for the random run. Whitewell says he still gets 50 view, bro. I'm telling you, the struggle is real, my friend. And I was talking to another guy about this yesterday. Instagram is tough, man. You know, somebody reached out and was like, yo, I'm watching some of your old videos. You always used to talk about this person, and I don't see that person around. I'm like, yeah, because I think that person like stopped making videos because it's hard. YouTube is hard. There is no doubt about it. And that's why I always say that I'm so thankful for the people that take the time to actually watch my videos. Because I remember the days, man, where I had like 200 subs, and the vast majority of those were from fitness. They weren't from the comic book community. I remember, spending a bunch of time on a video and getting 50 views, and it's tough. And that's why, again, I am so thankful for anyone that takes the time to watch a video, comment on a video, like a video, which is why I go back in and always say thanks. That's why I comment on your comments to acknowledge that I appreciate you taking the time to do it. So Ariel says he likes those videos. You are an awesome dude. Florence says very cool looking room indeed. Yeah, thank you guys. Yeah, the wife and a couple of subscribers like reached out to me and was like, yeah, your room's boring. Well, not my wife. She didn't reach out to me. She was just like, your room's boring. And so we went on a tear trying to fix the room up here and make it look a little better. And at some point there are some things, like I said, that are in the works that may result in me making some substantive changes to things. So stay tuned to some of that. Chris Baird, like the random runs. I think it was like Chris, Ariel, Tina, and myself. I think those were like the four people that basically watch Random Run over and over. Daniel Goldstein, how you doing, brother? It's good to see you. And Undead Mousy, because he's a diehard. Whitewell, you are hilarious. I'm reading his comment here. He says, when I eat Taco Bell, I get the random runs. That's because the meat is a grade D, my friend. I worked at Taco Bell for a period of time before getting fired. Yeah, back in high school, I worked at Taco Bell. Fond memories of grade D meat. Sorry, let me see. I'm scrolling through some of the comments here, so bear with me. Marvel Joe 67, how you doing, bro? It's good to see you, my man. He says, when are you putting the Hulk 181 back on the wall? He says, I love hating on that comic. They may go back on the wall. I actually don't even have it on the wall at all. I have 180 here right in front of me. But what I did is I realized that when you looked at my original wall, well, not my original wall, but one of the walls, there was nothing but like major keys up there, major grills and stuff like that. And so what I've been trying to do over the last couple of months is kind of shuffle a couple of things out to show some love to some other books. And what I realized was that I had not really had a true Spider-Man wall in a while. So I took down the X-Men stuff. I took down the Jack Kirby tribute row, and I basically put up all Spider-Man except for the Lobo back there, which is a book that I absolutely love. Love that Lobo, not the crazy space pirate Lobo, but the other Lobo. Absolutely love that book. And when maybe in another month or so, maybe not even that long, I'll end up pulling that stuff down and going back with like the X-Men one and some of those other major keys, including the Hulk 80 and 181. So Whitewell says he subbed around the X-Men 1 video. That was a good video, man. That was a big day when I got that one. That was a big day. Chris Barrett, you are hilarious, bro. You are hilarious. Scrolling through some of the comments here, seeing what else you guys have to say going on here. Here we go. Pause. Brian Parent says, Reggie, I just sent my first shipment to CGC. He sent 15 books. Really excited. Never did his own submission. Congratulations, brother, for making that big jump. Here is the advice that I'm going to give you. You sent the books in. You want to confirm that the books were received in a couple of days, right? You can log into the portal. You can see that they were received. After you do that, do not go back into the CGC portal for like at least a month. Do not go back in there. Forget about those 15 books. They do not exist in your universe. I am the guy that has the bias for action and is literally like, did they get the books? Okay, they got the books. All right, did you grade the book? Did you grade the book? Did you grade the book? That's me hitting the refresh button. The best piece of advice I can give you is to send that stuff in and forget about it, and then just let it magically arrive or be shipped, right? So just my cautionary note from a person that has a bias for action and has a desire for instant gratification. That's me. Brian Parent, you may be completely different, brother, but congratulations, man, on taking the jump and sending those books in. Fingers crossed that you get some high grades on your books when they come back. K Barton 33, how you doing? It's good to see you. From Heroes Icon says, what are you doing live and what am I doing? Brother, I started at 7:30. I think this is the earliest I've ever been on. I gotta tell you, the earliest I've ever been on. It is like the crack of dawn. I am literally on my second cup of coffee right here. Hydra Comic Collectible says, I reached a point where I had run out of wall space, so I had to buy a rotating spinner rack, which is filling up, let alone the massive cabinet. Yeah, brother. That is one of the challenges that we face, right? Is that we're constantly buying stuff and this stuff takes up room. At some point, I want to get a spinner rack. I think spinner racks are dope. I actually looked at a company that actually has like recreations of original spinner racks with like more ball bearings so it spins smoothly and all that kind of stuff. That thing was so expensive and massive that I was like, there's no way that it could actually fit in this room. So you may never see that thing in here. But again, some things are going on. 90 MF Comics is good to see you, brother. Big Wheel is in the room. Happy 4th of July to all of you guys. Ariel says, this waiting is killing me. His books arrived on 4/19, not even graded yet. I'm telling you, when you send your books in, it doesn't matter who you send them to. Send them in, confirm that they have been received, and then forget about them. Trust me, as I sit here and refresh my own CGC submission screen. I'll tell you, the stuff that I talk about on the channel, by and large, is either stuff that I've thought about in advance or that I've actually experienced. And I'm like, don't go down this road because it is not a good road. And so the refreshing screen is not a good road to go down. Brian says, yep, that's kind of how I'm going to do it. Make sure it shows up, then forget about it. Like the old infomercials, set it and forget it. Boom. There you go, brother. We just saved everybody a ton of time. I'm telling you, drop in knowledge. It is 10 o'clock, almost 11 o'clock on the East Coast, but it is still cracking on. I haven't even had breakfast yet. That's how early it is. I have not even had breakfast yet. Scrolling through some Rob Works is hilarious. Bro, I've had a couple of people talk about that whole Batman run, and they're like, I would love to collect it, but I don't think that I can ever afford it. And which sucks, right? Because, you know, especially if Batman is one of your favorite characters, the prices associated with that title are just prohibitive, and it makes it really, really difficult. Yeah, Wayne McDonald's making a point here. He sent some books in and they're just sitting there as received. Yeah, I've got a couple like that as well. Which crazy is I sent in, and this happens, right? Now, this is not bagging on CGC. It's just a statement of fact. I sent some books in, they're in received. I sent some other books in. They have already been received back by me, and the others are still in received. I don't understand it. It is what it is. Scrolling down through some of the comments, seeing what else you guys are talking about here. I hate how I can't pause the chat here, which kind of sucks. Oh, Connecting Comic says that his last CGC order from ECC will be here at the end of next week. Congrats on that, brothers. Fingers crossed that you get some pretty good grades on that. That would be awesome. Oh, Hydra actually picked up his spinner rack from a shop that was actually closing. That's awesome, dude. Congratulations on that. A guy sent me a message. We actually had a long conversation. I can't remember his name, so if it was you, I apologize. He actually picked up a display case, I think from a bank. It was one of those really big, like wraparound display cases made out of wood and glass and this kind of stuff. And it was a dope setup. My man actually laid down like a cloth inside, put his slabs gently on the pillow cloth, and it was a gorgeous setup. I was actually really impressed. But you can find and repurpose some really awesome stuff. Spinner racks, display cases from banks, and all this other kind of stuff. I think if you have the space and you have the imagination, you can do some really, really cool stuff. So Congrats on being able to pick that up, brother. Scrolling through some of the comments here. 90 MF Comics. I hear you, brother. We shall see how it all rolls out. Chris, did you just say happy birthday to Steve Rogers? Seriously? That is awesome. That is awesome. Scrolling through some of the comments here. You are hilarious. So here I'm about to, so 90 MF Comics is saying he's about to send out his first set of books to CGC. He's only ever bought slabs, never sent books to be slabs, so it's a new adventure. I'm gonna tell you, it's fun, man. I remember like it was yesterday getting my CGC membership, trying to figure out how to bundle my books up, sending those books in. Well, let me back up. Getting my CGC membership, figuring out how to use the portal, what numbers to key in, how to key it in, how to submit the stuff, how to, attach my invoice, how to bundle the comics up, how to send them in. It's an adventure, but I think that that's the fun of the hobby is that, all of these different ways that we can kind of enjoy it. And that's part of the reason why I created all the various videos that I've created, like the step-by-step guide for submission of books to CGC, how to bundle books up, how to handle the declared value of a comic book insurance. All of these videos were really created out of my experiences associated with comics, right? So it's like if I encounter a problem, I'm like, okay, how many other people have this problem? Let me go ahead and create a video with the hope that it can actually help somebody. And if you look at many of the videos, and the things that I say in those videos, they really come out of that. Hey, I just encountered this. Maybe someone else has this problem. Or, hey, I see this possibly happening to someone. Let me create a video to help somebody out. So much of what I do comes from that. So again, if you guys are sending in to CGC or PGX or CPCS or, any of the other services that are out there, there are videos on the channel that can help you to figure out like why I slab, why you should slab, how to the step-by-step steps for sending a book in, the rationale behind it, how to decide which book to send, et cetera, et cetera. All of those things are actually on the channel. If you search for them, you should be able to find them. And if you can't, send me a message and I'll be happy to help you guys out. A spinner rack is the final piece for his comic book studio. Oh, I never heard anyone call it a studio before. I like that. That's actually official, unlike like man cave or closet. Like because that's what I'm in. It's a closet. My man, Rob Worst, has a studio. That's what's up. I dig that. I dig that. I may have to borrow that one, brother. Live from the Regie Collect studio, aka the closet, I bring you. Scrolling through some of the comments. I miss some of those. Dang it. I miss some comments here. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Ariel's talking about the guy that makes the wooden furniture for comics. That a friend of mine in Virginia, really awesome guy, actually just got a piece of equipment from that guy. His stuff is amazing, man. I mean, just like the marbled wood and the special drawers and everything is like perfectly made for comics, whether they be slab or raw. It's actually really, really cool. Such a talented dude. I wish I had paid closer attention in woodworking class because that could be me. But no, that was not my lot in life. Comics and Beers is asking if I've donated comics to a library. I have not. And I'm actually thinking about, well, let me restate. I was thinking about doing it because I have a library in the downtown where I live that is opening up. It's a brand new library. And so they actually tore down the old one. They built a new one. It hasn't opened. And I was thinking about donating comics to that. But what's happened is I've had trivia night, I've had random AOKs, I've done mystery boxes, all that kind of stuff. So a lot of the books that I had on hand that I would have donated, I've actually depleted a lot of that inventory. But that's actually something that I would like to do, is to donate some books to a library. And I think I want to go through them to make sure that they're age appropriate and that kind of stuff. But at some point I may end up doing it. And it sounds like you're actually considering it as well. And if you want to talk about it, hit me up on Instagram so we can talk a little bit more about it, Comics and Beers, because I'm definitely interested to hear what your thoughts are. So scrolling through some of the comments here. Oh, one other thing that I'll say is that if you guys are thinking about doing CGC memberships and you haven't, there is a link in the description of all of my videos. It's an affiliate link for CGC, and it basically allows me to get a couple of bucks from CGC for the referral. So if you guys don't have your memberships, or if you have a free membership and you're thinking about upgrading, considering consider clicking the link because a little bit of money actually comes back to the channel. And I definitely appreciate it, the consideration, whether you click the link or not. So I just want to kind of toss that out there real quick. And like I said, all aspects, not all, many aspects of the process for submitting books and shipping books and all that good stuff is all on the channel. So hopefully that will help somebody. So I'm scrolling through the comments here. Yeah, Whitewell says at CGC at MegaCon told me that when submitting to always put the maximum value for your tier. I don't know that I do that. Whitewell, you are a nut, bro. You are a nut. I don't know about that one. I would say you may want to watch my declared value video that I set up and released a couple of months ago, because there are some details there for people to consider. Scrolling through some of the comments here. Scrolling through CGC family. What? Oh, I missed it. Reggie got into the CGC family when they opened the books. There you go. Hey, bro, you make a video about the stigma of adults collecting comics and an animated conversation with someone who thinks that it's childish. Let me noodle that one, man. Let me noodle that one, because that stigma associated with comics is one that I've always struggled with. And it's just now, honestly, that I'm actually comfortable with like people knowing that I do YouTube and that I like comics and read comics. So there's definitely some stigma still associated with it, but it could also be derived more from like my childhood and how comics were perceived when I was younger, and I don't know that younger collectors feel that same stigma the way that I do, because of like the backlash from when I was a kid. So I need to noodle how to handle that. So stay tuned. I don't. Yeah, let me noodle that one and see what I can do here. Scrolling through. One Shot Comics is like, you guys make me want to go refresh my CGC submission queue. It won't help you. You can refresh that sucker all day and it won't move. All right, I'm scrolling through. All right. Emerald Knight, I hear you, bro. I hear you. All right. So one last thing, and then I'm going to get myself out of here because it is drawing a little close on time where I need to get a couple of other things done. Happy 4th of July to everyone that is out there in the US, hopefully with the day off. I made a couple of announcements in this video, one of which was that the at least part 2 of the pressing video series that I promised you guys recently is in the works. Part 1 is basically done. It is uploaded to YouTube. It has not been released, and I'm actually debating whether I do it this week or whether I wait until next week. I am in the process of editing part 2, and I kind of want to release the 2 of them in tight proximity with one another. So more to come on that. The other thing that I wanted to do was to actually tell you guys about this. We are giving away a really awesome book, G.I. Joe #1, A Real American Hero, in honor of the 4th of July. This book has, I think, an FMV of around $140. It dropped a little after I bought it, but it is what it is. It has a pretty nice FMV. It's a pretty solid book, and this book could actually be yours. All you have to do is head over to the community tab, click the link where I'm actually talking about this book, fill in a couple of pieces of information, including this phrase right here, Go Joe. That is the phrase. Go Joe is the phrase to enter this week's Go Collect giveaway. Then all you do is tune in to the Ready, Set, Go preview show on Sunday at 7:30 to find out if you are indeed the winner. That is it. So I want to wish you guys again a happy 4th of July. If you need to reach out to me, feel free to do so at Regie Collects on Instagram and reggiecollects@gmail.com.